Let your chains loosen. Let the fade draw close.
You'll never succeed, you old fool!
I release you to the air.
No! You small bite!
Johanna,
Valkaran?
until we find a suitable method of penance in the necropolis,
Puh.
you're to be confined under the eye of a watcher, lest you slip your bonds.
How magnanimous of you to volunteer.
A challenge for us both. Was this your ultimate goal? All that death and destruction in order to rule the capital?
It would have been magnificent. Navarra, bowing to a leader who'd make use of its greatest works.
Your enormous bone construct would have destroyed half of Navarra City.
Well, there would have to have been some rebuilding before progress could begin. It's a simple test.
I am not loosening any of the wards around you simply to see whether you can learn new spells again.
Do you have any idea how frustrating that was, Valkaran? To be completely frozen in my spellcraft? And I could have fixed it by channeling through the skeletal construct that you destroyed. Speaking of which, what have you done with it?
That subject remains closed, Johanna.
So you're a skull now?
I refuse to explain my condition yet again to one of Valkaran's roommates.
I have my own room. Hey, is a skull still called a corpse when you're just a skull? Okay, I'll ask Emmrich. Hey, that skull on your shelf was yelling.
Johanna must have been fearfully loud if you heard her in the hall.
Oh, no, I was in your room.
Taash!
I thought it meant something bad, like a corpse coming to life. Is it still called a corpse when it's just the skull? Hezenkoss wouldn't give me an answer.
First, no. Second, I thought the undead disturbed you.
It's not as scary if it's just a skull. Why are you so angry at Emmrich?
Because the bleeding heart keeps interfering with my work.
Your crappy magic killed people.
If you find me objectionable, do what Valkaran never could. Destroy my remains and end it all.
Emmrich said that would let your spirit escape. Are you trying to escape?
Of course I'm trying to... No.
I can't demand your repentance, Johanna, but perhaps reflection beckons.
Reflection? On trying to fix the great failure of Navarra? The finest necromancers in the world, and what do we teach them? To loiter down in the necropolis. Navarra could be an empire. We could raise armies of corpses to slay our enemies and conquer new shores!
You'd make us another Tevinter.
Nonsense. I'm sure we'd do better.
What you said about Warden's early graves inspired me to make a will, Emmrich.
Very admirable.
And I'm leaving you a son.
Your what?
He'll need attention. 4 or 5 hours a day. Stock up on worms.
Well, then if anything ever happens to me, please keep an eye on Johanna.
That talking skull?
You'll need to prime the ether seals, watch she doesn't find a way to decay her wards, and never let her...
Now I'm redoing the will.
You have a question about negative topological functions?
Yes, please. Emmrich said it was okay to ask about this.
Do you always listen to that milksop? Well, at least you've come to a proper necromancer. First, I assume you've learned to cascade your spell weaves around wave inversions?
Oh, really? But wouldn't the explosive radius... I'd never try it.
That's cowardice speaking. Cast it aside. So you succeeded in lichdom.
I have.
And you don't even have the decency to gloat.
This existence of ours is a gift. By the friendship we once had, I ask you to cherish it rather than let resentment dwell within you.
Let me try on your crown.
Absolutely not. You've been quiet on your collaboration with the Venatori.
They were only useful for information or the occasional artifact. The rest of the time, the intolerable wretches kept going on about their wine cellars and summer houses.
They sound akin to some of Navarra's nobility, to be honest.
Depressing, isn't it? You must be so pleased with yourself.
What the? Hezenkoss?
Of course it's me! Reduced to explain myself to Emmrich Veilguard's companions.
How are you alive?
A lich isn't so easily destroyed.
Oh, even a failed lich.
A meaningless phrase. Anyhow, if you must know, the Morn Watchers found me. Only my skull was intact in the rubble you left of my grand creation.
Why are you here?
Those Morn Watchers continue to forbid so-called immoral necromancy. As if anything within our grasp should be forbidden. The petty alarmists intend to use my abilities for some sort of penitence. But will be by with a sheaf of lectures, I'm sure.
I'm surprised Emmrich's talking to you after you killed Manfred.
I didn't force that ridiculous sack of bones to get in my way. Who knows what he saw in that shambling thing? Besides, a lich can easily craft a new manservant. You there?
You don't actually know my name, do you?
Have you seen my hand? I could find it if I weren't smothered under all these wards. The thing must be wandering around somewhere. Come back to annoy me?
If you want.
No.
How different it all seems, Rook. Even my companion dead. They shine.
Veilguard's wedged himself nicely into your little group.
Wedged is harsh.
The man was always more comfortable in a crowd. When we were students, he'd constantly drag me to some preposterous party or salon. It's a wonder the chattering gadabout got any work done. The way people fawned over him.
I've heard of keeping enemies close, but Hezenkoss.
It seemed best she not disturb the others. Where she is must do.
Yes, yes, we've been through this. How articulate. Veilguard, keep your manservant away from me.
Manfred is an apprentice mage now.
That'll end well. Teaching a spirit of curiosity to conjure flame.
Manfred's learned his lesson after the incident with the rug.
What do you see in that thing?
I'm surprised Emmrich's talking to you after you hurt Manfred.
I didn't force him to turn down lichdom for a single wretched wisp. Who'd think the man would give that up for? Anyhow, if Valkaran brought it back, the miserable skeleton must bring him some joy.
Never thought of becoming a hat person?
You insolent brat! So, Valkaran, you've achieved the impossible.
Defeating you?
I meant you somehow seduce that impudent whelp following you around.
That's not... My relationship with Rook is a private concern.
Why she enjoys your mouldering presence is beyond me.
Mouldering? You're a mere 2 years younger than I am, Johanna. 2!
Well, I think one of us wears it more obviously. I still can't believe Valkaran snagged himself a paramour. Ah, at his age.
Hey, leave him alone.
Astounding. You're actually fond of him. Well then, don't let me keep you from that decrepit popinjay. The young watcher again.
At your service.
There's those necropolis-begotten manners. Look at you, a necromancer, wasting the prime of their life, solving the problems of others. You'd have been taught much differently if you'd been my apprentice.
You have quite a grudge against the Mornwatch.
I wisely cast off all their talk of obligations to the long-gone dead. But I assume you're more a traditionalist watcher, like Valkaran. Oh, I admit he's skilled enough. If only the man possessed any vision.